parent, a black parent, I feel like we need to start, as a whole, start putting more pressure on these schools that are teaching our kids to teach them their history.
Yes, yes, yes.
The correct history, not the history that you want us to know. But
Hello, welcome back to the show. Another fine week here at Shoes Off Talk. And let's get it in. Tim, what's happening, man?
me, how you feeling?
Yeah, man. How you doing over there?
Floyd, how you doing?
How you doing?
You know I'm better. Thank you.
First of all, before he explains, he had a little procedure, but I actually went on Facebook and said that he was having a penis enlargement surgery. So, I'd like to retract that statement.
Oh.
And for all the women out there, he's back to regular.
Oh,
He's regular.
sorry for you.
I'm sorry I raised your expectations far beyond what they should have been, but he's still the same dude.
That's okay. The ladies that know, the ladies that know. All right. But, in the end of the day, it goes back to a previous conversation we had a few weeks ago about health, men and health, especially black men. Go get your prostates checked. It's a quick procedure. It really wasn't that bad. I had a colonoscopy, and they checked and pulled out a few things that shouldn't be there. I'm glad I had it checked. I'm glad go get it checked. Because too many brothers are not just from this, but this is what led me to go ahead and start seeing the doctors. There was a lot of brothers my age, unfortunately, passing for stuff that could have been easily treatable if we just go to the hospital. So,
Let me see. That's the thing, though. When it comes to just men in general, we all right all the time. We don't look at the whole doctor thing. We don't look at we like, oh, I need to go to the doctor. No.
yeah, we suck it up.
Yeah, it's
Keep
like
on moving.
just drink some water. It'll be all right.
Yeah, drink some ginger ale.
Put some Robitussin on it.
Yeah.
But we're glad to have you back.
Yeah,
and
man.
that is very important, man, is that we go out and get these checkups at the right time. Don't wait till it's too late, man. Just a routine checkup could show them something at an early stage to where you can get this, whatever it is, fixed.
Yeah.
And it really is. It's a machismo thing that, especially with black men, because we have this idea that we have to be bulletproof,
Macho
because of who we are
Yeah.
and the cross that we have to bear. But we have to understand, both mentally, emotionally, and physically, we need to be aware of our bodies, our minds, our spirits, and all of that. Because it's all tied into one, man. We think that going to the gym is all that we need to do, and that takes care of the physical aspect of it, but we still have that other physical side of it, from the innards to the outers, and then the emotional and mental side of it. So, man, don't think you're less than a man if you go get yourself checked out.
Yeah. And Floyd brought up a good point right before we went on about, continuing, I guess, your health journey. Don't go back to old ways and, things of that nature. I hear you, Floyd. I hear you.
Hey, man. Hey.
It's a process, man. But as we get older is when we start being more tentative to it. And unfortunately, it takes for things to happen around us for us to really be aware of it, man. And it shouldn't take that, but if you look at it, in a bunch of different aspects of our lives, it's usually change occurs on the heels of some kind of loss or disaster. Is when our eyes are open. But
Like they say, we only get together at funerals. Unfortunately, that is true.
It is very true.
And what I hate is we always say, we're going to start getting together and we're not going to make sure that this happens again, and then it happens again.
Oh yeah.
Well, we say that in the moment while we're that's just like anybody that has an addiction problem. It's like and it doesn't really have to be an addiction problem. You know, how many people that drink that says after that 39,000 night, look, I'm done. I'm done.
I plead the fifth on the terms of my criminal.
Okay. We ain't gonna push that envelope. But yeah, man, we need to start being more proactive instead of reactive.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of it too. I've been saying for the longest that I need to really get back to my hometown because really probably the last 5 or 6 times I was there was at a funeral.
Yeah.
It was at a funeral, and it's sad to me when I go on social media and I have to find out that way that we lost another friend or relative.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, we spend a lot of our time, you know, traveling to other places, other countries, but then we forget about home.
Man, you know, we don't do anymore, which we did all the time growing up, is family reunions. Like, man, I miss those big family reunions we used to have every summer down south or whatever. Just, man, those are the good. We just don't have those a lot anymore.
You know why? Because a lot of the matriarchs in the family, in the family are gone. And this new generation of relatives, they've got so much
no one gets along
in their life. Yeah. Well, and that too, but you know,
but
like I just said, we
Yeah.
make everything a priority except for what needs to be a priority. And I think the strength of the fabric of families is based on that. Like it was cool to be able to go to family reunions and see people you didn't even know you were related to.
Yeah, that's how I met a cousin when I was a teenager. We're hanging around them, had the same friends and everything, and then one day we just was at the same family reunion. Like, I know you, I see you around. Oh no, and we was just tight like that ever since.
Yes. Well, that's how Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter found out that they were cousins. Tracy McGrady was at a family reunion, and his grandmother was talking about, you know, one of her grandsons that played at North Carolina, and T-Mac was like, huh? And so they end up getting on the phone, I believe, and then from then on, they was just inseparable. So that's crazy, man.
You know, what's funny about it is that every time we find somebody, right, we run into somebody, and then we like, oh man, oh yeah, that's my cousin. Then you find out, you be like, the first thing you do, how do you find out that that's your cousin? Mama.
Yeah.
Who this person is? You know?
Yeah. And are we related to so and so?
Right. You know.
And it's that's so crazy because the McAfee name is an original name. So everyone named McAfee I'm related to. Everyone named McAfee. And there was a kicker or punter from I think the last team he played for was the Colts. Pat McAfee. He actually has that Pat McAfee show. The last interview he did was with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh.
And what's crazy is I'm related to him.
Nice.
Like, so it's just crazy finding out, you know, and I don't trust that. What's that?
DNA checker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you know what? I remember why we talking about DNA. That's a good intro to what I want to talk about next. So we did do that. I did do it, and I'm glad because you know, like we don't know who we really are, and I found out that I am Nigerian, Ghanaiese, and Scottish.
Check the shirt.
Happy St.
That's
Patty's
the shirt
Day.
that he got from the bar last night. Doing a throw out t-shirt. He just ain't never changed clothes from last night.
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
that's me. But I found out through my mom. My mom's brother keeps a real detailed lineage record of us, and so you know, for the longest, my mom knew, but I just found out probably 3 or 4 years ago that I'm like 60-70% Choctaw Indian, and Irish. You know, so. And having an opportunity to go back to Ireland is just, and I have family out there. I wasn't able to connect because we were only out there for 3 days.
Oh, you have been there?
Huh?
You went to Ireland?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
So I had an opportunity. Actually, was supposed to catch up with the family, and we just didn't have enough time. So I plan on redoing that trip again.
Well, speaking of lineage, well, I don't know about.
Well, you relate to everybody.
Well, no, I ain't gonna talk about the relationships, all that, but the Native American part of it. My grandmother, my mom's mom, she is Choctaw,
Oh, that's
Indian.
crazy.
and on my father's side, his grandmother is Chickasaw.
Wow.
Yeah.
Y'all got all the alls.
Nah.
Choctaw,
Choctaw,
Chickasaw.
Jigsaw.
And we have Creek, and we have pretty much we're the 5 tribes, 5 major tribes.
Wow.
Yeah.
On my grandfather's side, I think he's Blackfoot.
Yeah, Blackfoot.
I think he's Blackfoot. And it's just crazy because that leads me into one of the other topics that I wanted to talk about as well as like, I feel like as a minority parent, a black parent, I feel like we need to start as a whole, start putting more pressure on these schools that are teaching our kids to teach them their history.
Yes, yes.
The correct history, not the history that you want us to
Yes.
know, but their correct history.
Selective.
Exactly. Because you can just tell, like, even in conversations that you have with adults on social media, you can tell it's obvious that they're not connected with who they are. And that's not a knock against anybody, because as shameful as it is,
We
I
don't
really
know.
found out who I was
Right.
maybe 6 or 7 years ago.
We don't know.
So,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
53 years old. So
Yeah.
it took some things in our society to happen to make me realize, like, okay, hold on one second. And, and it was things I mentioned to this before on the shows. It was things like when Trump got elected and the uprising and all the different things that was COVID, all the different things that happened. And that's why, as much as I hate that we lost people during COVID, it was a major eye opening to a lot of aspects of our life that had COVID not happened, we would still be in the dark, so to speak, about and like I said, it sucks that people had to die from that. But also when you think about entrepreneurship, just think of all the businesses that came out of
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. Yeah.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
So all in all, I say we gained more than we lost, and I, by no means am I measuring, those things as entrepreneurship and lineages and relation, all of that stuff compared to the life of someone. I'm not doing that at all. But we also understand that that's nature's way. That's that cycle. Someone leaves, someone comes, someone leaves, someone comes, and from that sprouts whatever.
Right.
So that's the natural progression of life, so to speak. But yeah, I just really feel like, man, that we need to be taking more of an active stance on the education of our children, and having them understand that, there's more to your heritage and your background than what's being taught in school. And it's a shame, man, that you have some teachers, Caucasian teachers, that want to teach Black history, but their feet are being held to the fire, that if they do teach them, they literally will be fired.
And then that's true though, because you do have your districts that only want you to do, like I said earlier, a selective lecture on Black history, because they don't want them to get more into the deepness of it, a Harriet Tubman or the railroads, or what Black history really means, and when you're teaching these kids that and everything, then you go back to the whole point of, now you got parents that don't agree with that. Don't agree. What I mean by parents, you have white parents that don't agree. They don't want their kids to know this stuff. You know, so if their kids don't, so basically now if you want your kid, your black child, to understand the deepness of it, the sadness thing of it is that you got to teach them yourself.
Yeah.
You have to get them into a front of a black literature teacher and do it and have them do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and so so I'm like, well, when I went to school, we were taught a selective. We were taught, you know, Martin Luther King. We were taught what else?
Malcolm X and
Right, Malcolm X, right, stuff like that. I didn't understand. I didn't know who Sojourner Truth was. I didn't know who Harriet Tubman was. I didn't know none of these people like that. I didn't know who they were until in after school at the youth center, we did a theater play, and it was on Black history, and that's where I learned who these people were.
Mm-hmm.
Out of school. See.
That's a good thing about the internet now too, because before internet, you know, we had to go find this information, right? Encyclopedias, library, things of that nature. But now, thanks to the internet, obviously, you know, we have a lot more, you know, access to information, and that now we're starting to find out more and more about, you know, our history or where we came from.
Even with the internet, though, we got to be selective about that, because the internet is controlled by those same people that is teaching us other people's history.
Like what's happening in Florida.
You're only gonna find on the internet what they want you to find. Yeah. Period. You have to go to like the black web, you know, the dark web.
The dark web.
And find out. I call it dark web. We just taking over everything. But yeah, man, it's and I know it's fear based. It's the fear of, we already are a powerful being as it is, and to add education on that, and to actually know where we stand, where our place is in society, what's rightfully ours, to get that understanding as well, makes us very dangerous to those other groups, you know. And that's why when you hear about, you know, different people becoming educated about, okay, no, this ain't right, that we should be doing this, and hence like Dr. Sebi and all the other historical leaders and the people that are paving their own pathway. And I'm fearful of this lady that came up with the their micro something that can be released in your body. And
the microchips.
No, it's, I forgot the verbiage of it, but she created something that kills cancer.
Oh.
And I'm so fearful that her life is in danger.
That's a tactic.
Like CB.
Yeah.
That's a tactic.
And I applaud her to the utmost, is because we understand our history is when we start educating people about things that take money out of the pockets of our government, you just put a bullseye on you.
Especially Big Farm. You know, Big Farm don't like that.
No. Everything, even our own history is all money based. It's all money based. I just told somebody this. I'm giving the U.S. probably 3 or 4 years when I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. I've been to too many countries and saw how things are supposed to be. Speaking of, I actually bought this back for Larvell, but because of his
condition,
No.
these are the authentic Cohibas.
Ooh.
And I got these from the Dominican. And I was going to give Larvell one because, you know, he, out of all of us, he is the smoker in the group. But because of his recent medical issues, far beeth me to contribute.
That's right.
To bad health.
Floyd.
That's what you call a true family member.
Exactly.
That's
so You can
Oh,
smell
look at
it.
it.
You
Smell
can,
it.
I said smell it. You can smell it, but you can't have it.
Oh,
And it hurts me as much as it hurts you, I'm pretty sure. Because these are the authentic codeines.
Ooh.
I know. I saw him as soon as I came in the door. Like, ooh. Yeah, that's what he was.
You ain't gonna be on my conscience.
Oh man.
But yeah, talking about this is another segue. Man, people do not like to see us being happy, being proud, accomplishing goals. We always want to pigeonhole each other into a box of what we should be.
Right.
That leads me to Sierra
Oh man.
and
Yeah.
her outfit
Hey.
during the Oscars.
Right.
How do you feel about it?
You know,
I absolutely loved her dress.
Of course you did.
see, I think we love it for a different reason,
Right.
and I'm glad you said that
Right.
because there's different perspectives in the world.
Right.
You have the dirty old man aspect of it. Then you have I'm a trainer, and I appreciate someone that takes care of themselves. And I'm of the firm belief, and Tiffany would tell you that, hey, you work for it, show it. I mean, you don't have to
Right.
walk around like booty naked, but show it.
But she
Like,
wasn't the
you
only
could-
one.
You could be, bro. She ain't never been the only one.
Man, this
It's
been going on for
it's-
years.
talking about
Every
that
award,
night.
every award show,
Right.
award show,
Right.
there's somebody, J Lo, Selma Hayek, somebody is half naked on the red carpet, but for some reason, because it's Sierra and she's a black woman,
Yeah, I
now all
didn't
of a
get
sudden it's how could she?
that. Yeah, I didn't get that.
I don't get it, man. It was a very tasteful outfit. Some of the most valuable art in the world, in the history of art, has been of nude portraits of men and women.
But why? My thing is, why pinpoint her?
I think it's the whole aspect of Russell being the laid back, subdued, quiet,
How can you let
and
her
then
wear something like
Sierra being the jagged edge, so to speak. But that's what makes that relationship so amazing is the fact that they both offer something different.
Opposites
And
attract.
Russell needs that edge, because he,
Yeah.
all of us at some point in our life could be a little uptight, and so you need that person in your life, whether it's a friend, significant other, or whatever,
Bring
that
that
kind of
balance.
brings that balance to your life.
Right.
I thought it was done very tasteful. She's a very classy woman. People are blaming the R&B and rap industry and the way women dress on what's going on in the world, and it's pathetic. It's pathetic to see that we feel the need to shame someone because of the way men are wired and the way they think lustfully. But there are men out there, there are people out there that look at that and say, hey, she's beautiful. Now, you don't necessarily, not everybody's necessarily, oh man, I boom, boom, boom. Even though Sierra is a beautiful lady, but I applaud her. I applaud her having the confidence, and understanding her shape and her body and what she can wear and look good in. I have a problem with people that's wearing stuff that they shouldn't be wearing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like if we really gonna be honest,
Go to any
if we
Circle
gonna
K
really
or
be
Walmart.
honest, it's like I'm tired of hearing everybody who's like that's using the excuse I'm happy with who I am and I'm gonna show it. No, you're lazy and you don't want to work at it. You have all the excuses in the world, and that's probably some of the people that are shaming Sierra, the ones that want to look like her.
They need to get in the gym themselves.
Exactly, and
Haters.
it's about what you want out of life. You can be happy with who you are without being overly satisfied or lazy, and I think the way our society is now is we walk this fine line of not wanting to say the wrong thing, not wanting to, for the fear of offending a specific group. And I think that's where we fell off as a society, is that we're afraid of telling people, and it doesn't have to be in a harsh or negative way. It's like just being real. If you notice, real people aren't even accepted anymore. They're banished.
Mm-hmm.
We want people around us that's gonna lie to us and tell us everything we want to hear, and that's the person I want around me instead of them real ones. And I just feel like we live in a society of laziness, and because the new thing is being happy and loving yourself is the thing. That's not what that is. That's not what that means. That doesn't mean that you get a pass and you get to not do what you're supposed to do to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what that is. Loving yourself is loving yourself enough to know that, hey, I love who I am. Am I comfortable with who I am? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You can love yourself and still not be comfortable with the way you look.
So is that the same thing as you loving yourself, but then don't have what is it called? You're not you have doubts, pretty much. You have doubts on, oh, I love myself, but then in the back of your mind you're like, man, I need to fix this. Oh man, I need to go ahead and tone these arms up. Oh, I need to go ahead and flatten this stomach up.
Well, I say this all the time, is the only person in the world that you never will be able to lie to is yourself.
Man, facts.
Mm.
True words.
Like you can sit there and say whatever you want to say to whoever is around you. You got to go home and look at that person in the mirror and honestly be honest with yourself and say, am I happy with myself?
Mm.
And if you honestly can say that, then you're truly happy with yourself. But most people, everything is a facade. It's like we want everybody to like us. We want everybody to agree with us. We want everybody to accept us. And we don't need any of that. You don't need any of that. You don't need people to like you. You don't need people to accept you.
Nope.
Social media fake likes.
Instant
gratifications.
one of my buddies has a podcast, and he's saying that's what's wrong with the world, is like we're not coming together as a group, and as I think he was speaking in as couples. He's saying that we're meant to be couples. Like we can't get to where we are unless we are coupled up, and I think it was on the heels of women empowering themselves and saying that they don't need a man and this and that. I actually agree with that to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like you need to be with anybody. And it doesn't make your life incomplete if you're not.
And on that one, in order for you to be somebody person in their life, in order to be that strong one, you have to make sure that you're together, right? You have to be physically, mentally, everything in the book, right? For yourself, and vice versa for the other person. So if you're strong and she's strong, then you're stronger together.
Yeah, you be able to take care of yourself first.
But the thing about it is like that's the key. Is like, I think when you preach that message of having to be with someone, you give people a way out. You give people a way out to where now, if they're not happy with themselves, they go look for someone to make them happy.
In fact,
Nobody can make you happy. Nobody can make you happy.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't make yourself happy, then you shouldn't be dependent on somebody else for your happiness.
You always be miserable.
Yeah.
One of those people that just wake up angry every day.
So then I just see that message being a codependent message, to where now all of my faults, I don't have to work on them. I'll just get somebody in my life that will fix it for me. Then you become codependent. And as a woman, that's the worst thing you could do, because for most men, I say this all the time, the most attractive thing about a woman to a man is to make a man feel like you don't need them for anything. Because typically when people feel like you need them, it's just a matter of time before, you know, you play yourself out with that person, or they start abusing you in some kind of way. So I just feel like if you want something, you need to be that first.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me.
Yeah.
And the way I think is that you don't get in a relationship with someone for someone to give you what is missing in your life. You get with someone that has other things in your life that you don't have, and you come together cohesively, and there's a bond created, and you understand what your deficiencies are.
You know, I see it as, I mean, you can see it at different size, different angles, but if you had a piece of cheese,
I like cheese.
okay, and you know that cheese that has all those holes in it, Swiss cheese has the different holes and all that. Let's say you're
holes
the cheese
or holes.
The hole.
My bad. My bad, y'all.
Okay. But yeah, so basically the holes in the cheese, right? And let's just say that you're the cheese with all the holes in it, the different holes, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have you're somewhat together, but you have those holes, right? Now, and let's say that you're the female over here. Now you're saying that if I have this female that can fill those holes, okay. But the thing is, though, yeah, she'll come over and she'll put those holes in perspective, but they won't be filled.
Great analogy, and that actually brings my point out even more. Mm-hmm. It's not her job to fill those holes. Her job is to go into the pot with the other cheese, which is the cheese with the holes in, and melt to become whole.
Floyd been sitting on that analogy. You were waiting a long time to say that.
No, actually.
So it's not somebody's responsibility to come in your life and fix you. Mm-mm. That's not their job. Mm-mm. Their job is to come in your life and show you how. I say this all the time too. There's two things that people come in your life for: to show you what you deserve and show you what you don't deserve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Preach, brother.
Yeah.
Tell them for the people in the back.
And what we have a tendency to do, like Tyler Perry says, we have a tendency to make a temporary situation permanent.
Congrats to Tyler Perry. Just purchased BET.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
And the other brother, Byron.
I know you're talking about
Alan. Yeah, they got together.
Yeah. Those are kind of moves, not jumping off topic, but moving on. Mm-hmm. Those are the type of things that we need to be doing in our community if we're talking about building a really strong backbone in the Black community. Is start owning something. Yes. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, anything enormous. Is start small and start creating little pockets. And this is the thing I say too is, man, look, don't let nobody pigeonhole you into thinking that you only have to own something on the Black side of town.
You know what? I'm going through this right now, actually. So, it's good that you actually said that. They say start somewhere, right? Well, I just got approved for a home loan. I know we were talking about that.
Congrats!
Yeah. It's not what I wanted. It's a lot less. But I got, it's a step. Mm-hmm. It's a step in the right direction. It's on the way to, wealth. You had to start somewhere. You had to start small.
So there's a difference between starting somewhere and settling.
Mm-hmm.
Which one are you?
Starting somewhere. Because we're going to start. Now,
the reason why I say that is that it is in the Black community, especially in the Black community, especially when you come from, I know I come from the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, growing up in the
Right.
projects in Peoria, Illinois, I lived in
The rough streets of Peoria.
probably 3 of the 4 projects.
Right.
Eating sugar sandwiches, mayonnaise sandwiches, and all of that. So
Yes.
I
Yes.
say that to say this is that we sometimes go back to our poverty mentality and just think the first thing that comes along is
That's what it is.
is the winner.
Right.
When sometimes that thing came along to show you the least of what you can do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's why I say it's good to pray about it a lot of times and put it in God's hands and let Him give you the direction that you need to go to where you're able to differentiate.
I didn't think I was going to
between and that's what makes it even worse is when you have it in your mind, I'm not gonna get it done, and then you get, all right, I'll take it. But how you have to look at that in the reverse and say, hey, if I can get this,
Exactly.
and maybe if I wait a couple months, I can actually get, because the Bible says a couple things. You have not because you ask not. And it also says, be specific in what you ask God for. He was like, if you don't just ask for a truck, say, I want a 2021 Toyota Tundra sitting on them things. You know, I'm just saying. But that's what God says is be specific in what you ask Him for.
Right, because Drake said this is not a regular F-150. This is a Raptor.
Exactly.
Hey.
So if and that's something within your spirit and within you that you have to get that spirit of discernment to be able to differentiate. Okay, am I settling, or is this what God has for me? Is this the first step?
Because one thing of what I've learned is when you go through a process like that and they throw out a number, okay, they say, oh, this is what you're qualified for. This is what it is. You have to look at that and be like, okay, well, is this the number because I'm black? Or is this the real number because of my finances or my credit or whatever it is?
Yeah.
You know.
And then you ask probing questions. That is funny because that's my industry. You know, as a mortgage underwriter, I was a mortgage underwriter for over 20 years, and I still stay abreast with, you know, the current trends and what's going on in that industry, and I try to educate people as much as possible, you know, on, you know, the mortgage aspect of it, and just that is that, you know, there's a lot of unfair lending practices that are going on with black people.
Wow, that's a whole nother conversation right there.
And so you have to be mindful of that because there's certain things that come into play. It's like, hey, do I qualify for this house? And, you know, because you're trying to get the South Side filled up, or you're trying to get me in a program designed specifically for black people.
Come on.
Or does my credit not support me getting this? And what does my income look like?
Right.
You have to ask those questions because those lenders understand who they're talking to. They've looked at your credit history. They looked at everything else and said, this man has never owned a home. He's never owned anything. He's barely making enough money. What kind of loan can I give him that we can hit him upside the head and charge him all kind of money for, but he'll still be happy that he's just getting a home. Right. And that's just the way that industry is they're so you know, blood in the water, you know, especially, you know, understanding that the industry is at a slowdown right now, and so people are just scrambling trying to get any deals that they can, and so they'll try to put a triangle in a circle hole and try to get it to fit, and then tell you that, hey, this is all you qualify for, but when it truly you might qualify for more than that. They just won't make as much money off of it.
You know, and the thing was about that, you know, I have a co-worker, well, he used to be my co-worker, and the same thing, he went to go try to get a home loan and he got approved for one, but then when he told me how much he was approved for, and I said no, I said, no. That is just too low. Okay. If they're not going to work with you like a normal person, go somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because this amount here is lowballing you.
Mm-hmm.
So then he went somewhere else, got a way higher amount and everything, and he moved into his house.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of factors that come into play.
Because I told him, just like you said earlier, I had told him just that. The thing is that they give you this low amount to force you into a certain area.
Mm-hmm.
Because why? Because that area is where they want you to live. They don't want you to live.
Redlining.
They don't want you to live. Amongst the elites and all that stuff. They don't want you to live all like that.
And then they make, depending on what the loan is, whether it's a government loan, FHA, Fannie Freddie, conventional or bank owned
USADA,
loan, any of those loans, depending on what they get you in, they can charge like insubordinate amount of points on the front end, the back end. Granted, you get a truth in lending, but if you're someone that never owned a home before, and I'm telling you, you can get this home, but your interest rate is 21%. Most of us that don't know any better is going to take that home, not understanding what the long-term effects on you financially is going to be. And God forbid they try to get you in any kind of adjustable rate mortgage or any
balloons
of that,
and all that. Ooh.
So it just we just have to step outside ourselves and understand your situation and how, is this what I want, or is this, like we said, or is this what I'm settling for? And if you really can truly say that, because 9 times out of 10, if anybody offers you any money, they say, look, I got 20,000 for you. You already know that you can get more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody in their right mind gonna have their first offer be the max offer.
Right.
That's never the case.
Never.
That is never the case. And what made me think about that is when LeBron had went overseas and went to the Nike factory and saw how those people were being treated over there, and he accepted that $1 billion deal with Nike. It's just funny to me because I'm trying to understand if Nike is making $60 billion a year and you only get a $1 billion contract, a lifetime $1 billion contract, why would you take that? One, why would you take that off the backs of people basically being enslaved by Nike? Two, understanding that if they're making $60 billion a year, I need $1 billion a year. If I'm the face of your brand, I need $1 billion a year.
Right.
Period.
Off top.
Right.
Yeah, off top. And so I don't think that, and I'm not saying that his people didn't do their due diligence on that, but there's so many factors that factor in to decisions when it comes to finances, and the understanding of nobody's gonna ever offer you the max
No.
up front. They'd be stupid. They'd be stupid to do that. Like, nobody that's backing them will allow somebody to represent them and be like, hey, just go offer him $1 billion a year.
Right.
No. They're going to say, look, we'll give you this $1 billion lifetime contract, and all I'm thinking of is that's $1 billion.
That's the only thing you're thinking about.
That's all you
Right.
need. So we just need to carry that into our life and understand that where you come from cannot be a factor in the decisions that you make about what you do now.
Right.
You can't. You got to think about the decisions that you make now about what's moving forward from that day forward.
It's like you go and move into this place, and then you like, okay, well, this is the area. Okay, it's okay. I'm used to these type of people, and it's all right. So you get in there, then your mindset be like, okay, well, I'm in there, then I'm gonna sell it for when I'm in there for about 2 or 3 years and stuff, and then I'm gonna turn around and sell it. I'm gonna tell you this now. People who do that, they realize how hard it is to sell it.
Especially with what's going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how bad you want to do something. If the stars and the moon and everything else ain't lined up, you're gonna be stuck in that house.
That's right.
You're gonna be
House
stuck in that house. And it goes even deeper than that, bro. It's like we can go into the banking industry and understanding that once you put your money in the bank, your money is gone.
And banks are failing right now.
Your money is gone.
Yeah.
They turned around and relent your money out to somebody else and making interest off your money from you and the person that they lent it to. That's why if you put any big sums of money in the bank, you cannot turn around 2 or 3 weeks later and say, "Hey, I want to take all my money out." They're gonna be like, "Hold on."
Isn't that what just happened though? Like,
It is.
I don't know the name of those banks.
And then home ownership. You don't own your home.
You don't.
No.
No.
You don't own your home. People glorify home ownership, and it's great that I can come in here and I can knock down every wall that in here and do whatever I want to do, especially with the governing bodies like HOA. Damn near own more of your home than you do, because they're telling you what you can and can't do to your home, what you can and can't put outside your home, how you can park in front of your home, what you could do. But it's home ownership. We glorify home ownership, and that's because they want you to buy homes that you really don't ever own. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't. Home ownership is cool. It's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
To me, it's just like getting a degree. A degree doesn't. a degree at this point, bro, is really an accomplishment. It doesn't guarantee you anything because there's just as many people with master's and bachelor's degrees as in the unemployment line that's working menial jobs that it is people that don't have education. But once again, it's another way to get you to go to school to create these freaking student loans and all these other bills and everything. Like you'll end up paying more money back than you probably make in your first 5 years of work.
Tim, look, we got a few more minutes left. I got a question.
Yes.
Because you're a sports person, you know more than I do. What happened between Arizona and Princeton?
Ooh.
How many minutes? Because there's a bigger topic that is looming around this, and it's not going to be so traumatizing or unexpected with the advent of sports betting. Mm-hmm. Sports betting has basically killed sports as we know it, as we knew it. There's so many hands in that sports betting pot to where they may not be able to determine the outcome of these games, but they have hella influence over the outcome of the games. It's been some of the worst refereeing that I've ever seen in my life when it comes to sports. And that's sports on every level, because money is being made off of kids, AAU, being made off of college, being made off of pros, the whole nine. And it's the pure sports enthusiasts understand it and they see it. And it's to the point now that some of the most avid fans don't even watch sports anymore.
Yeah.
Because they know what it's being influenced by.
Yeah.
It's just like weed. We have people still in jail for small amounts of weeds, but
And
now
now
our
it's legal.
government is making money off of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Why isn't, once you legalize it, everybody that long as they wasn't selling pounds and pounds, how come they ain't out of jail?
It's
How come
supposed to
their
be.
records aren't expunged?
Right.
You're out here, you're the biggest weed dealer in the world. But you got people locked up for what you legalized. And it's the same thing with sports betting.
Yeah.
Not only did you make it legal, you actually put it into the arena. Bro, at the Suns Arena,
Yeah.
I can get out of my seat, walk around the corner, and walk right into the sports betting place.
Yep. right there.
And I don't know sports betting. From what I hear, you can bet on everything from who gonna make and miss the next free throw to and they make it convenient for you. And these guys are running around here. Oh, I hit. I guarantee you, for as long as for them to create that addiction of betting, as long as you are addicted to betting and you're betting, you will never outwin the system.
I'm gonna tell you. I tried it. I went on there and I did it. I was like, I went on there and I did it, and I was like, cool. The day of the game, about 30 minutes before the game, I saw, the amount that I was supposed to get, the amount that I betted, and the amount that I was supposed to get. Just get this right. I don't go over $5. I'm just sorry. I just don't do that. So I put my $5 bet on there, which at the time it was like everything that I did, it was like $2,000 and something dollars that I was supposed to win. Mm-hmm. Okay. So me being me, I was like, well, I just can't keep this. I can't do it. Cause my thinking was, I lose, I don't have to pay this $2,500. So I was like, me not knowing the whole concept of everything, that was my intake.
Yeah.
Cause I'm looking at TV, I'm looking at all these gambling things and stuff, and if they don't have the money, then they got to pay this money. So I was like,
I ain't educated on, but I know.
That's the thing.
I know.
But
that's how.
At the 30 minutes before the game, I canceled it.
I didn't even know you could cancel it.
Yeah, I canceled it, and then when it was done,
you could have won.
I could have won.
Well, they
I was like, dang.
What they get you on is the appeal of convenience, but because they have so much influence, bro. Even if I wanted to bet, like I've seen it to where it was teams that was hands-on favorite, and then 20 minutes before the game, the main player's out.
Yeah. I see that.
Make sure that
Or a team is covering a spread, and then all of a sudden they take all the starters out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, or the ref will call a bogus foul at the end of the game and send one of the best free throw shooters to the game. Now all of a sudden he hit 2 free throws. Vegas is such an influence, bro, when it comes to everything. Like, it's just disgusting, man. It's just the pureness of sports doesn't exist anymore. Doesn't exist, and it's a shame because sports is such an outlet for so many people that deal with life issues.
Yep. That's what
it is. What it is.
It
is what it is.
You only can do so much.
Yep. Take what it's worth.
But when you was talking about the Princeton and what was it, Arizona? On that one, Princeton was always it's known as a better team. That's what the whole concept was. Princeton was known as a better team, but Arizona, to me,
weren't they higher ranked?
Princeton?
No, Arizona.
Yeah, they were a higher seed.
Okay. Yeah. But the thing was, Arizona was, to me, a better team.
Right.
So, but it was just something there that kind of like, they dropped the ball completely. Because it was like, the way...
Because of betting?
It might have been. Because the way everything ended up, how can you be so good at this point, but then at the last drop of a dime,
be so bad? It's influence. It's influence, man, and it's in your face, and you still have those people out there that love the thrill of betting. They love having the odds stacked against them. They have the money to do it, and
it's just a shame because you have these kids, they play their heart out, that aren't directly involved with this stuff, but they have to be the ones that live with this stuff as they get older and understand that, you know, a lot of these kids only have one opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, and we take those opportunities from them just to line our pockets with money, not thinking about what the long-term effects mentally and emotionally is with these kids, because these kids aren't reaping the benefits of this sports betting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can't. I'm not saying that it's not out there, but they can't. But this is another topic for another day too, is like, how do we hold Barry Bonds out of the Hall of Fame when you've legalized sports betting?
Wow. That's the aim. Wow.
Anyway, that's a segment for another episode. We appreciate everybody tuning in. We're glad to have our guy back.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully, I should have gave him a cushion for him to sit on. But we don't take anything for granted, man, when it comes to our health. And we laugh about these things, but it is a very serious issue, especially in the Black community. So we strongly advise everybody, regardless of age playing a bigger factor, but get yourself checked out, man.
If I can do it, you can do it too.
Just get yourself checked out, and understand that tomorrow's already not promised to us. And I say this too, is like, no matter how physically fit you are, when it's time for you to go, it's time for you to go. I choose to go to the gym is because while I'm here, I want to have a great quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
You feel good.
Exactly. So being healthy, in shape, doesn't guarantee you a long life, but it guarantees you a good quality of life while you're still on this earth. So we appreciate you. We thank you guys for tuning in. Catch us next Saturday, same time, same bat channel. Love, peace, and
Soul.